What's up, my comic book brothers and my comic book sisters from another mister? Today we're going to do a comic book review of Edge of Spider-Verse, issue number 5, the final issue, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. The story starts in Zimbabwe on Earth 31, where Sergei Kravinoff, the celebrated hunter, is hunting a legendary lion. As he seeks to hunt down this lion, he comes across it and finds it already dead. As he looks to skin the animal, he is attacked from behind by a giant spider which stings Kravinoff and puts its fangs into its shoulders. That's one way to get spider powers in another universe, right? The story switches to New York City 3 months later, where J. Jonah Jameson addresses the public and tells them how supervillains have terrorized their city. These are people who have no respect for the law. They aren't humans, they're animals, says J. Jonah Jameson. And to counter these beasts, Jameson has hired Kraven, the hunter spider. Kraven first faces off against Rhino, who he comfortably beats like tell your mama to save me a plate kind of beatdown. Jameson promises Kraven an impressive reward, which is why he has taken upon himself to exterminate all these men taking the shape of different animals in the city. The Rhino is the first one to go down. As he defeats the Rhino, the police demand he hands over Rhino so they could put him behind bars. Kraven disagrees and tells the police to take Rhino away from him if they can. If you have the courage, do that. If you don't, stay out my way. He walks away with Rhino. We then see Kraven's property, a small townhouse with all of his victims as Kraven's trophies, taxidermy style if you will. As he looks around and admires them, wasps enter his house from the floorboards, air vents, and wall cracks. They start to attack him, but he eats and chews them away instead of shooing them away. Okay. The spider biting him heightened his senses and increased his tolerance to spider toxins. Insect stings do not affect him whatsoever. Kraven then proceeds to open a portal and walk through it. On the other side, he sees Madam Web, Araña, and Zarina discussing how to stop Shathra and the Wasp army. They are stunned by Kraven's ability to walk through a portal. He explains to them that he is a hunter and walking through portals is what he does, and he is here to help the team and put this beast down once and for all. The story then shifts to Earth 71-490, where we hear Cooper Cohen's story. Cooper saves his friend Peter Parker from a spider. Instead, the spider bites Cooper. Cooper then gets spider-like powers and begins to save people in the city with the hidden identity of Web Weaver. And before we go any further, if you're liking the content so far, you know what to do. Like the video and subscribe to this channel. We do awesome comic book reviews, comic book related content with the occasional comic book giveaway. Back into the content. Cooper works for Janet Van Dyne, who gave up the superhero life for the fashion industry, and now she's thriving in it. As she passes through her employees, kind of walk and debrief kind of thing at the same time, she goes into her office and we see that Janet Van Dyne, who is out in public, is an imposter, whereas the real one is hidden in the fake one's closet. Unbeknownst to anyone else, you know that's got to be Chameleon. Speaking of unbeknown, I bet you guys didn't know that this comic sets up a new Spider-Man issue number 1. Well, you probably did, but I bet you didn't know about our Rated Comics exclusive Spider-Man issue number 1, Rated Comics exclusive cover artist by Gabriel Delato. The trade is limited to 3,000 and the Virgin is limited to 1,000. Link in description if you wish to add that to your comic book collection. Back into the story, Web Weaver goes out into the city hoping she could get her hands on someone committing crime. And even though he does find one happening, he is stopped by Silk. Silk of Earth 71-490, another vigilante, just not the Cindy Moon vigilante, at least not in this universe. The next evening, Van Dyne is hosting one of the biggest fashion shows in the city. Cooper arrives, but since he can't find Van Dyne, he realizes something is wrong. Well, so his spider senses tell him. In this panel right here, Van Dyne takes Millie, one of the models, into the restroom, telling her to try something on special. Instead, she knocks her out, takes up her appearance as a shapeshifter. Things do not look good. Web Weaver senses it and picks out that Millie isn't acting normal on the ramp. Web Weaver's prediction is correct. It is Chameleon who is hired to kill Silver Slabanova. Web Weaver quickly subdues Chameleon and ties him up in the web that he's weaved in. Suddenly, UK Spider emerges from a portal and requests Web Weaver's help. Albeit confused, Web Weaver has no option but to go. However, before going to save the multiverse, he does kiss the guy in the crowd. As they kiss, he bids Weaver farewell goodbye, telling her that they'll continue from here once he returns. Web Weaver steps into the portal to save the Spider Heroes and the multiverse, and that is the end of this issue of Edge of Spider-Verse issue number 5. I mean, I think it's a decent issue to finish off the Edge of Spider-Verse series. Hunter's Spider story, as silly as it may seem, that was the best story of this issue in my personal opinion. Now, overall, I mean, I think it's a decent issue. What I feel it's lacking, I don't know if I need a full 5 series issues to introduce all the Spider-Verses and in each universe. Then again, because there's so many of them, you probably want to build up their characters, so when you go into the big climactic scene in the next issue, it has a payoff because it feels more personal and you know all the Spider-Verses in each universe personally. If you're a key issue collector of the comics, then link in description if you wish to add this comic book to your comic book collection, because it's the first appearance of Sergei Kravinoff, Cooper Cohen, Albert Moon J, Janet Van Dyne, and Cindy Moon, and others in different universes. So if you're a key issue collector, this may be a comic you may want to add to your comic book collection. But what are your thoughts? Comment below, let me know. With all that being said, Edge of Spider-Verse issue number 5. If you like the content we're throwing up, don't be shy, don't be stingy. Like the video, subscribe to this channel, and also this video is sponsored by coffee, so if you'd like to buy your boy a cup of coffee, link in description, or donate to the super thanks. But the greatest compliment you guys can do is by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. Thank you again for watching. Until next time.